Good afternoon, dear friends. Today we are here to discuss a few topics about transducers. So, starting with basics of information, how the transducers are working, or what exactly is definition of a transducer. Defining precisely device that is capable of being activated by a form of energy and in turn generating a related signal converted to another form. That is basically converting one physical energy to another form of physical energy. This is called a transducer. Another definition for the same, that is device which converts one physical quantity or condition to another physical quantity, that is called a transducer. So this is the simplest definition of transducer. Basically transducers are utilized to measure different form of quantities. For example, the quantities that we are defining or that we are interested in are temperature, pressure, flow, liquid level, displacement, vibration, rotation, magnetic fields, acceleration, chemical species, forces, radiation, pH, humidity, strain, velocity, electric fields, acoustic fields, and whatnot. So anything that we are interested in measuring can be measured using different or some other kind of transducers. So whatever device that you are using to measure such kind of quantities or such quantities, that we can define or classify in the category of transducer. Basically, transducers are of two types: electrical transducers and non-electrical transducers. Those transducers which cannot give electrical output, they are called non-electrical transducers, while those which can directly convert a physical quantity in an electrical type, that is considered an electrical transducer. So defining it precisely, sensing device which measures the quantity and transforms it into either electrical current or voltage, that is called electrical transducer. The categories are, for example, that is piezoelectric transducers, photovoltaic cells, LVDTs. Such transducers are directly giving the output in terms of current or voltage. The advantages of these transducers are ease of measurement. You can make easy measurement using different electrical kind of meters. The ease of signal conditioning is another thing. You can amplify the signal, that is output of a transducer, filter it, scale it, multiplex it, modulate it, and whatever is possible with electrical or electronic kind of manipulation. Another advantage is direct indication at remote terminal. No need to be at physical touch with the measuring terminal. You can place the measuring transducer at the system or at the plant, and you can measure the same thing with a cabling or wireless connection at a remote place. In addition, all advantages that is available with electronic system like recording, analysis, then spectrum analysis, whatever are available, they can be utilized. Last and final, that is customization. You can modify one form of energy to another form. That is, modification of transducer is also possible. So you can modify it according to your requirement. For example, if we are interested in measuring level, then with certain modifications, if you are measuring the pressure of a particular tank, then whatever is the pressure at the bottom can be converted to equivalent level. Now this is possible with electrical transducers. Further classifying the transducers, here the categories are namely active and passive kind of transducers, analog and digital transducers, contacting and non-contacting type of transducers, inverse transducers, and based on principle of transduction it can be classified. We'll discuss each of them in detail. Furthering the discussion, starting with passive transducers. By name itself, it's a passive device that does not have its own energy generation. The device that requires power to operate itself, that is called device which is passive. The device which derive power from transduction devices or transduction from auxiliary power source, that is called passive transducers. While those which does not require power, they are called active by default. Passive transducers are externally powered, means it requires either AC or DC power supply for the operation, and without that power supply it will not work for longer duration. Without that it will not provide any transformation of signal. The examples are resistive devices, inductive devices, capacitive devices, thermoresistive, electroresistive, Hall effect devices, gyros, photoconductive cells, photoconductive devices. Such kind of devices require power for the operation. So when they are provided with proper power supplies, whether it is AC or DC, they will be working for sensing of the particular quantity. means they can be utilized. For example, if I want to use a resistive device for pressure measurement, I require to provide power supply to a potentiometer, and this potentiometer can be utilized or can be scaled in terms of pressure. If I want to go for LVDT to be utilized for pressure measurement or displacement measurement, I will have to activate or excite the LVDT with AC power supply. So such are the examples of passive devices. Another category is active transducers. Active transducers are by name itself active, means they are having their own generation of power. No power is required or no external power supply is required to produce output. They are self-generating or often called self-generating transducers. They draw power from the input applied, means whatever form of energy you are converting, that energy is converted automatically or internally to an electrical kind of output. The examples are piezoelectric crystals. So whenever we are applying some pressure on the piezoelectric crystal, it generates an EMF across the terminals. So this is basically converting the pressure or change of dimension to electrical signals. Thermocouples. So whenever the junction is exposed to a temperature, according to Seebeck effect, the temperature is generating EMF across the two terminal or across the junction. Photovoltaic cell, just like solar cell, photovoltaic cell is accepting the energy in terms of optical radiation, and that radiation energy is converted to electrical energy. Pyroelectric devices, galvanic devices, electromagnetic devices, etc. are the examples of active transducers. Analog transducers. Almost all transducers that you see around yourselves are analog. Basically, they are measuring continuously whatever quantity that we are interested in. For example, if we are interested in pressure measurement, we can utilize different kind of devices. Almost all devices that you are having for pressure measurement are analog devices. Analog devices are having one thing good, that it gives a continuous function of measurement. So whatever quantity that you are measuring is continuously measured, not in discrete. Means there is no skipping of a step, skipping of certain minor part of information in that measurement. So the advantages are it's having a higher resolution and higher accuracy. So with best accuracy and highest resolution, you can go for measurement with help of analog output. There are certain disadvantages. For example, they cannot be processed very easily on the digital computing systems. So if I want to accept it for digital computing system, I will have to add analog to digital conversion, and at the receiving end, digital to analog converters in addition to whatever is the processing circuitry. The examples of such transducers are strain gauge, LVDT, thermocouple, RTD, Bourdon tube, etc. All these devices are widely utilized in almost all measurement industries, and they are all analog devices. The another category that you may be looking for is digital transducers. Digital transducers are those which are working in quantized manner. It converts whatever is the measurand quantity directly to digital form. So in digital form, we are having different outputs. The output is simply quantized or discrete in nature. Means after 1 there will be 2. There is nothing like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So there is certain restriction of decimal point of resolution. If I am having an analog quantity, there is no such restriction, but in case of digital, the restriction will be put by the number of digits that you are able to measure. The advantages of this particular system are noise immunity. First of all, because whenever the communication is there, means I want to measure a quantity at certain location, I want to transmit it at a remote location for the processing, then there will be communication, and communication is directly linked with noise. So if I want to go for larger noise immunity, it is better to go with digital transducers. Analog transducers are very prone to noises. The another advantage that one can look for is storage of digital information. We are living in digital era. So we are surrounded by digital devices like computers or data loggers. So all these devices are supporting digital data. None of the devices you can have today that records analog information. So storage is very easy with digital kind of transducers, because directly it measures digital, directly it gives you the output in digital form. The another advantage that I have not mentioned here is it skips the requirement of analog to digital conversion and digital to analog conversion directly. Next advantage is data analysis. Whatever data that is available in digital form can be analyzed very easily with softwares available on PC. You are now having different statistical softwares, different analytical softwares, different trend making softwares, that all softwares one can utilize to get trend of a parameter, trend of a particular quantity, and you can take it for the further utilization. Compression of data. If you are having large amount of information available or large amount of data available, digital compression techniques are also available. And last is adaptability with whatever is newer computer technology. Digital data is directly adaptable for the computers. The examples of digital transducers are spatial encoders, normally utilized for detection of angle or angular measurement. Then switch kind of transducers, that is normally we are knowing as temperature switch, pressure switch, or displacement switch, or limit switch, whatever are the switches, they are directly digital transducers. So this is what we have discussed about analog and digital kind of transducers. That is basically a bridge line or demarcation line between analog world and digital world. The another category is contacting and non-contacting kind of transducers. Contacting transducers, starting with the transducer that is placed in measuring environment. For example, if I want to measure temperature with a simple glass thermometer, if you are suffering with fever, the thermometer is placed in your mouth. So that is basically making a contact of your mouth temperature or under tongue temperature to the glass or the mercury bulb in the glass thermometer. So this is the basic phenomena. If I want to measure certain physical properties, then you need to make the transducer in contact or in proximity of the environment where you are measuring it. Such kind of transducers are working finely without any problem. The physical contact is required. That is the basic thing. Another example for these are, if you go through the tachometer of your bike or your car, a cable is connected directly from the wheel through a worm gear to the odometer that is available on your desk. So that is another kind of transducer, which is again contacting kind of transducers. So almost all temperature transducers, almost all mechanical measurement devices are basically contacting kind of devices. The contacting devices are having some limitations. The limitation is, if it is used for mechanical kind of measurement where frequent vibration is exposed, where the same device is to be utilized for a continuous rotation, then tear and wear and mechanical damages are there. So it requires frequent replacement. So contacting devices are normally used where the device or where the transducer is safe. Another possible example of avoiding contacting type of transducer is hazardous environment or corrosive environment. So some transducers cannot be pushed or cannot be placed in corrosive environment where there is chances of getting corrosion. Another environment is inflammable kind of environment where you cannot expose electrical connections. So such kind of places are there where it is possible or it is always advisable to avoid physical contacts. So in that condition, one can go for non-contacting type of transducers. Here the requirement is not a physical contact. Means you can place the transducer at a distant location. The location should be comparatively distant. For example, the examples given are pyrometers. The pyrometer is basically utilized for measurement of temperature. One can measure temperature from a remote location. Most possibly pyrometers are utilized in temperature range above 1000 or 2000 degrees Celsius. Now these are the possible conditions where if you are having a transducer made of iron, will melt down. So pyrometers are basically taking help of optical measurement, that is measurement of either infrared or measurement of flame color in order to estimate the temperature. The another example is optical tachometers. The optical tachometers are also taking help of measurement of optical light breakage or optical edge isolators to measure the number of revolutions. Radar type of sensors where the signal is transmitted and reflected back, the time taken for reflection is counted in order to measure the displacement or distance between the sensor and the exact physical object. Stroboscope is another example. So these are some examples of non-contacting type of transducers. They are basically utilized where it is not possible to make a physical contact between the object where you are supposed to measure the parameter and your transducers. Inverse transducer. Now this is a transducer which converts electrical signal into some other physical quantity. Till now we have been talking about converting a quantity to electrical one so that it can be measured with electrical motion detectors or electrical meters very easily. But how the electrical quantities will be measured? Because whatever we are having as a deflection galvanometer is measuring a angular motion or angular displacement. So basically in case of galvanometer or in case of voltmeter, we require to convert a voltage or current or whatever is the electrical quantity to equivalent angular displacement. So a simplest example is PMMC or whatever is your deflection meters are. So PMMC deflection system is simplest example of inverse transducer or electrical heating system for measurement of true RMS measurement. The last category or last classification criteria is based on the principle that we are utilizing for the measurement. Different principles are available. This is just I am mentioning for 5 or 6, but the list is endless. Thermoelectric kind of measurement, where temperature is converted to electrical quantity. The temperature is generated to whatever effect, correct? So temperature is generated due to different effects. For example, if I am utilizing cycles of thermodynamics, then temperature may be due to the change of pressure, may be due to the change of motion. That temperature is converted to electrical quantity and ultimately measured. Magnetoresistive, the change of magnetic resistance is measured. Electrokinetic, optical measurement, maybe optical means resistance due to the optical phenomena, maybe the voltage due to optical phenomena, or maybe photo emission, whatever effect. Electromechanical kind of measurement, piezoelectric kind of measurement. So different principles are being utilized for the measurement techniques. So whatever measurement technique that we are whatever principle